Good day, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the FuReel Podcast. Here next to me is Sifu Guansu, Master and Founder of Jhung Academy, aka me Faja. On the podcast, we talk about what we experienced whilst practicing and teaching Kung Fu Tai Chi and how it benefits our lives and the three parts that make us whole: the mind, the body, the spirit. Question to you. Have you got my intro?
No.
What?
Well, for those who didn't listen to last week, they won't know what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, but whatever, man.
Okay. I try something. So, sitting beside me is Jhung, a.k.a. Sung. In the academy, we call him Sihing Sung. Also known as my son. My eldest son. But actually, no.
Mate, this is the longest thing in the world, mate.
Beautiful young person, lovely human being, and an inspiration to many young people. That's you.
All right, then. Might want to put that down next week.
Okay,
Write it down.
I'll play
Write
it back.
it out.
I'll play it back.
Okay, so whilst you're listening to the podcast and have any questions and wonderings, you can send them through to our email address, which is FuReel@jingmo.com.au, FuReel@jingmo.com.au. FuReel is about passion, it's about culture. It's not just about sharing a Chinese martial art, but it's about sharing the light at the end of my tunnel, and maybe this could be the light at the end of your tunnel, or you can just enjoy some really cool content, and this is FuReel. Alright, so to this episode, we have a whole lot of questions from Jingmoers.
Wow.
That we will be talking about, so let's just get started.
Okay.
We've got Piers, Marty, and Tarrant, who are a few people who are mentioned in these questions.
Mm-hmm.
But Piers and Marty hold like the majority of the topics, if you like.
Cool.
So let's answer Pierce's first, I guess, is on the top of my list. So it says, many books and other sources show traditional resistance exercise or supplementary fitness drills for martial arts. What are your thoughts on a modern approach to strength and conditioning versus more traditional or style specific exercises?
Well, I think first thing comes to mind is I'm not an expert in this topic of modern exercise regimes because I haven't grown up with it.
Yeah.
But my short experience with high resistance type exercise, we did some human movement stuff with Ryan when we first started freeform fighting, and that was based on the CHEK method of exercise, which is kind of like taking everything back to a time where we were doing manual labor. So everything was about functional movement. That's pretty much my only stuff. Usual stuff at school. You get taught how to lift weights in the gym when you're at high school and stuff like that. None of it really interested me. I found that in my experience, the two things really, when I focus my energy on one particular type of exercise, it actually only uses those muscle groups. And it has a particular outcome. So if I want to look a certain way, if I want my body to look a certain way, then that's what I should do. If I want my body to function a certain way, like if I'm a rock climber or I'm a marathon runner, two very different sports, I think the exercise that I do would be very specific to that sport.
Yeah.
So Pierce's question, I'm making it mean that it's actually trying to find an exercise that complements martial arts training, particularly our Kung Fu, Jing Mo Kun, and Chen Style Tai Chi practical method. I would say I would rather use my time to practice the actual forms with resistance than to go and get a resistance exercise to improve that muscle group. And the reason being is my second reason is our training is about the three parts that make us whole: the mind, the body, the spirit. It has to have a clear theory. It must be complex, and then we work hard. So these other exercises that he's talking about, once again, because I'm not an expert, I can't really comment other than what I've seen before.
Yeah.
And to me, it wouldn't be the best use of my time.
Mm-hmm.
I think, though, there's probably a place for it, in that if someone is rehabilitating from an injury or from surgery, for example, then a specific exercise that isolates particular muscle groups, because a health professional like a physiotherapist or a physical therapist of some nature has identified that muscle had been torn off and now it's been surgically reattached. We have to work this way to do this because it's a specific muscle group. It has its place. Generally speaking, for an able-bodied person, average like myself, I would just get involved in the movement, get involved in the training and do more of it, and find ways of pressuring the body to produce a more concentrated result, rather than isolating something to do the exercise.
Yep.
To improve a particular muscle group.
Yep.
That's my take on it. So mind, body, spirit, for me, it's much easier to switch off and just focus on the doing if it is a simple repetitive movement. When it is full of theory, principles that I have to follow that I can't do very well, I can't do naturally, and it's a very complex mechanism that I'm working on, then that pulls me in, like we were saying this morning in class. That's what makes me present to myself. So that's what I would prefer to do. I'm not saying it's bad, but just saying from my perspective, I would have better use of my time doing others. More training, more practice, under some form of stress, rather than do a different practice.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Well, his next point, I guess you can't answer that, but it says, outside of your normal practice, is there any physical skill, exercise or drill that you've encountered that really sparks your curiosity and makes you think, I love to do that or know how to do that more?
Yeah, I can answer that.
Okay.
The answer is no, there isn't one.
That's not an answer.
It is. He said, is there that you've experienced? And I was like, well, I have. I've experienced some things, and their answer is no.
Right.
There's nothing. Was that what you want me to say? Yes.
No, it's just anyway. Cool bananas. Cool bananas. Well, I do. I have
go.
Experienced some satisfaction from running.
Yep.
Which is quite fun these days. Running, and I've made a vlog, but I also noticed some similarities in my mindset in order to keep up my fitness in the running during the run. So understanding my body structure more. These days I have more understanding of how my body works. So when I'm running, I can maintain the run and not hurt myself. Whereas in the past, I've noticed that I have like weak spots in inverted commas. My lower back hurts or my knee hurts or stuff like that. But knowing my body now, I can maintain the run without hurting myself anymore.
That's cool.
And that's why I like running now. Whereas before I hurt myself, so then it didn't feel good to run. Yeah. So
I'm not a runner myself.
Not yet, mate. Not yet. Not with that attitude.
I can sprint, but I can't do any more than 100 meters, and it's no.
You know, old man scooter. Sprint, get in your scooter, just.
You mean a gopher, one of those red ones, the 4 wheels?
Yeah.
Oh, what do you mean old man scooter? You don't have to be an old man to have one of those.
You can go for it.
Go for it. Oh,
all right.
Dad joke.
Okay. So, next one.
Okay.
Next one. Pierce asked some good ones.
Okay.
All right. Do you think that practicing a Kung Fu or Tai Chi form for competition distracts the practitioner from the original intent of the form? If judges are trying to judge a form without intricate knowledge of that style, doesn't that reward
You're going to read English?
I'm going to read English, but it says generic here.
Yes.
But I'm going to say maybe it says generate or more obvious elements, but reduce the value of the specific style principles being displayed.
There's a tongue twister in there.
Yeah. Piers, mate, you're autocorrect. I directly copy and paste, so that's what happens. But, I get the gist of it. Do you get the gist of the question?
Yeah, I do. The answer is, for me, the answer is no.
It doesn't distract.
It doesn't.
From the intent of the form.
Yeah, exactly. Providing one's not attached to winning.
Yeah.
So, if, in my experience, and I've been involved in competitions, and also, I guess I've out of all my competition experience, majority of it has been supporting Jing mowers go through competition, and then there's been glimpses where I competed myself, and what I noticed is that when I was attached to getting the right score, then my thoughts were about what's going to achieve the right score. Words like what's going to impress the judges. So my objective was more about attaining a high score rather than performing the drill with integrity and to the best of my ability. That's very different. They're two different things. However, I also have been a judge for competitions, and what I will say also is that you're right, Piers, not all judges will have an intimate knowledge of how a style works, but it doesn't mean a judge can't judge. Yeah. Because there's a positive side to that. When you have a judge that doesn't have intimate knowledge of a particular style, then what is left is the essence of a martial art. Yeah. So we're talking about presence, we're talking about power, we're talking about intent, we're talking about sharpness of movement or smoothness of movement. If movement's meant to be smooth, it's smooth. If it's meant to be sharp, then it's sharp. But if it is part way, then that could be questionable. A person's confidence in how they stand up. And if a person has practiced something, it is very clearly evident that they have practiced it a lot by comparison to someone who's practiced it just enough. So when we have a person that comes up and practices just enough, then often what happens is, I'll just use these words, the performance appears hollow. When someone has practiced a lot and they have an intimate knowledge of their own body and how it interacts with that particular form, then it's very clear, and what we see then is very thick. It has body. Yep. So what I say to all people who prepare for competitions, most of them have been our own members, and some of them have been people who practiced other styles who value my opinion, is that you choose your form, you ensure that it fulfills the minimum requirements of the competition. For example, time. You can't be too long, can't be too short, so you got to figure that out. That it covers the space. So if the form requirements, the competition requirements require you to cover at least 40% of the width of the mat, then in some competitions they say that you have to go from side to side X amount of times or whatever it might be. Make sure that the form does that. And sometimes, like it does for us, we have to repeat the form a few times or choreograph and join two forms together. But once you get all of that, the fundamental requirements to actually qualify in your competition, because there's no point if the competition says minimum 60 seconds and your form's 15 seconds, then that doesn't even qualify. You've got to qualify. Now, there is an argument. There are some traditionalists out there, and I've had this conversation with some of the other Sifus here locally, and that is our form as traditionally has been 30 seconds long or 45 seconds long. It is wrong for us to increase the time. Okay. So, one or two things are going to happen. Either the competition director creates an exemption for these people or separate competition set for them, or they compete and they don't qualify. It's really that simple, because we don't have to... winning a competition is not a statement about the style. Losing a competition is not a statement about the individual. It's just what was judged on the day by a group of humans based on some criteria about another human. That's not a judgment on anybody. It's just what happens on the day. So, it's not a big deal. Yeah. I'm saying it's not a big deal, although it has been a big deal when we got involved in world competitions and so on. It's a fantastic experience. But what I'm saying is your style, reputation, does not hang on whether students succeed or fail, get a high or low score in a competition, even if it's a fighting one. So my answer to you, Pierce, is providing the frame of mind is correct. In other words, if the competition is like a grading, it's just part and parcel of my experience and journey, and I practice because I practice to master my form, not impress judges, then no, it won't distract. But the moment we do anything for somebody else, it's a distraction straight away. And it like happens here in class. Students are fine doing their thing, and the moment they notice I'm looking at them, it all changes, and they lose their way. They get all jittery about what they're doing, and they say, "Oh, see, if you're watching me, that puts me off." Well, there's an example. Right? It's got nothing to do with me, actually. It's only what we make it mean, how we interpret what's happening around us, what surrounds us. So the whole purpose of practice is to be able to shut all of that out and just focus on ourselves and the job at hand, whatever it happens to be, whatever expression. If a person is practicing an animal style, then they have to get into the character of the animal. If they are practicing a modern wushu style, then they have to get in the character of modern wushu. If they're doing a yang style Tai Chi, they have to get in character of yang style. If they're doing Chen style Tai Chi, get in character of Chen style, etc. Rather than focus on impressing judges. That is one way of doing it. But the question is, does getting involved in competitions mean that practice is then not beneficial to the individual? The answer is no. As a matter of fact, anything can be a distraction to the individual. It doesn't have to be a competition. And therefore, just because it's a competition doesn't mean it has to distract. Now, you've actually competed more times than I have.
Right.
In championships, national, international, local. What's your take on Pierce's question?
I agree. It's not a distraction. I find competitions actually quite fun and challenging in a way that because I have to put all my energy into one point, like I'm practicing, that I love how when my human traits come out or my human defaults come out, how I deal with them. Like when there's a bunch of people watching me, or there's the previous guy watching me on the side as I'm walking up, and what that brings out of me. Nervousness, anxiousness, whatever it may be. Even some ego as well. So, I want to beat that score sort of thing. And watching myself through competition, knowing that I can't stop because it's a set guideline. I have to go for this long. Otherwise, I'm disqualified. There's consequences and stuff like that. Watching myself from afar, being able to watch myself from afar during competition and being able to keep it all together and do my best is really satisfying. So that's like one thing I enjoy about competition. It's like a mini test on how I am going with myself, with my practice. And when I win, it's great too. It's like a bonus, but it's really it's challenging but fun to watch myself with things popping up everywhere. Yeah, talking about that gets me all excited. I want to compete now.
Are you sweating?
Yep. Alright, there's 2 more questions from Piers, but I'll save that for after.
Okay.
Because they're quite light-hearted, so let's keep that for the end of the podcast. So Marty is next. He says on the group chat, there's been some good discussion on here in class and on the podcast already about Eastern training versus Western training and exercise. To the point where my feeling is that the underlying consensus of the class is that Western training, i.e. gym work, weightlifting and stuff like that, essentially undoes the work that we do in class. I'm curious on thoughts on the matter. I suspect there's more of a balance between the two, and that it depends on what you're actually training or practicing for. But I'm keen to hear some of the discussions on this point. Terrence and Piers added post that question Marty said. Terrence said possibly discuss the use of training aids like iron rings and ankle weights or something like that in both training systems. And Piers says, I would very much like to be part of this conversation, talk about the evolving understanding of resistance training and athleticism in Western exercise.
Meaning he wants to talk about that?
Maybe.
Okay. Maybe
he didn't
ask him.
Didn't specify, just wrote that line. So.
Right.
But it kind of ties into his first question, right?
It does, yeah.
The traditional resistance versus the modern day exercise sort of thing. So, yeah.
Cool.
You got the question?
I do.
Yep. Cool.
So, first of all, I will say, Marty, that it doesn't undo.
Yep.
It's not undoing what you train, but it's adding. So one of the most difficult things I find for myself is staying purely on the line and direction of that particular theory.
Yep.
What's much easier for me is to add stuff in. So I might be, for example, following don't move as a principle in our practice. And it's really hard not to move. It's much easier to move other things to make me feel like I'm not moving. Right? So when we go and do other exercise, I think the benefit will be is you keep it separate. It's like practicing Kung Fu and practicing Tai Chi. You've got to keep them separate. If you merge the two together and you come up with a hybrid style, it's not meant to do that. Kung Fu is meant to be Kung Fu, Tai Chi is meant to be Tai Chi, and that's it. There's no better, no worse, no stronger, no weaker. It is just two different approaches to the same problem. So keep them separate. And for me, I keep them so separate that I actually talk to myself and teach Kung Fu in Cantonese and talk to myself and teach Tai Chi in Mandarin, so that they're completely separate in my head. So I would suggest to anyone who is looking to supplement their training, like running or swimming or gym work or aerobics or Pilates or yoga or meditation or rock climbing or whatever it happens to be.
Got any more up your sleeve there? Keep naming
my
some.
Sleeves are short.
Keep naming something.
Is to keep them separate. Keep the principles separate. Don't try to mix them all together and find similarities, because even though there may be similarities, it's only what we make them mean. Just keep them separate. There's no such thing as a similarity. There's one thing that is yin and another thing that is yang. You can't say, there's a bit of yin and yang. Sure, keep them separate though. Otherwise what happens is we start losing our way and everything gets really muddy, right? So I wouldn't say it undoes it, Marty. It doesn't undo. You could be doing bench presses, for example, and then come to class and notice that you can't close your chest anymore. Whether it be Kung Fu or Tai Chi, you might find that your pecs are stronger and thicker and larger and all the rest of it. But if the bench press is kept for the bench press purpose rather than try to improve my Kung Fu or Tai Chi, then you'll be fine. And if you think it's going to improve it, it's not. Because if there's meant to be a bench press in there, there would be.
Yeah.
That's it. It's pretty simple.
True.
I can see where he thinks it undoes things, because very, very the bench press is, or push-ups is one thing. When we do excessive push-ups or bench pressing, then it makes our chest very strong. Now, that's great for lifting, predominantly, and I think there's some martial arts out there might say that that's great for taking a blow as well.
Yeah.
Protection. But that's not the purpose of our training. Our training is not to take a blow. Our training is not to have a strong chest so I can lift. If I had to hold, lift, grip, twist, and all that, then that'd be very different. Then the answer would be yes, you should do more of that.
Yep.
But that our training, our styles, both of them, don't require that. As a matter of fact, we require the opposite. We want to be able to close and grip outside rather than pull in, and open the shoulder rather than close the shoulder. So, I can see where he thinks it undoes things, but where it's all a matter really of what we're looking to achieve and what makes us feel good about ourselves too.
Yeah, I was just to say, it's a matter of what Marty wants.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than...
No, doing it to please somebody or to fit in. No. It's really important to do what it is that makes you feel good.
Mm.
And that's it. As simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you reckon about Terrence's comment about, using the iron rings or ankle weights or things like that during training to maybe... Obviously, this is all to get better at things.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, correct. So the iron rings should be used and supplemented because they exist. They are there. That's part of our training. It's part of how Jingmo evolved, and it is part of the traditional Shaolin culture of training. Ankle weights, not too. I'm not convinced about.
Yep.
I don't. The ankle weights works the opposite to how we want our ma to be. So we want our ma to be open and fluid.
Yep.
And responsive.
Even though it feels stiff and rigid.
Yep.
At times.
Yeah, that's right. I think the ankle weights are probably more appropriate for styles that involve the majority of kicking, which neither of ours are.
Yep.
So, ankle weights, less so. Iron rings, definitely. And I encourage everyone to bring their rings into training because then I can actually offer tips around noticing what they're doing and how they can train better with their rings when they're at home. Yeah,
I feel like it's good that, Tarrant being a beginner, well, black belt.
Black belt, yeah.
That's what I mean. That he's got rings. Because I think there's a real mindset around, I have to be this good before I can use this aid.
No, definitely not. Yes, the earlier the better.
Yeah, because then, exactly. Then you get better at it earlier. Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa. Cool. All right, well, maybe, Piers, we can discuss this again.
Yeah.
And you can come in on the podcast again, and we can talk again.
There's lots of agains.
Yes. Cool. So, back to Pierce's questions, okay, to wrap up this kind of a short episode of the podcast, depending how long we take here. But he says, if you could only ever practice weapon forms with one type of weapon for the rest of your life, what weapon would it be and why?
Easy. I got mine. Have you got yours?
Yes.
What's yours?
The guan.
The guan.
The guan.
Why is it the guan?
I know, I just really like the guan.
Was that it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just really like it. I've won some good medals with my guan. Spent a lot of time practicing it for competition. So I feel like I know my guan really well. And I like it.
Cool.
Yeah, I like it.
You like it?
I like it. What's yours?
The gim, the sword.
Why the gim, the sword?
Because I like it. No, it's true.
Okay.
I think the gim was probably the first weapon I ever picked up. Like when I was little.
Yeah.
All the weapons were on the ground.
Yeah.
And the grass because we trained outside.
It was a test. They put out the weapons for you.
That's right.
Choose your weapon.
Choose my weapon.
Yeah.
And I always would choose the gim.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And if I wasn't allowed to have a real gim, I could get the gim scabbard, so I could grabbed a scabbard.
Yeah.
It's always just my weapon.
Yeah.
Love the Ging. Always has.
That's very simple.
I have lots of them.
Okay.
Lots of Gims.
I got a few guns.
Yeah.
Got lots of guns.
Mm.
Should bring mine back in.
Cool.
Okay. Final question.
From Pierce.
It's the final countdown.
Why does everything have to be a song?
You tell me.
Yeah.
You're the one who keeps saying,
no,
isn't that
I
a
don't.
song?
I only do that because of you.
What else?
Yeah, no, it's true. I don't know any songs.
You know no songs?
I know some songs. all my songs are old fogey songs.
Apart from 86?
Yeah, a lot of them from the 80s.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Alright. Do you ever find yourself regretting engaging in your daily practice and questioning its worth?
Never. I get really upset when I don't get to do my practice when I set out to do it.
Okay.
Like I get agitated, really fidgety and stuff.
Your withdrawals.
Yeah, it's true.
Sort of frothing from the mouth.
Yeah. Well, it's like this morning. Normally I do 8 yilus in the morning to warm up. And I started with 1 yilu and then somebody came in off the street.
Yeah. Did you kick him out?
No. So I haven't had a chance to actually do my yilus. And I can feel that agitation in me.
Yeah.
So I'm ready. As soon as we finish the podcast, I'm out there doing it.
Yeah, cool.
See if I can get 12 in before everyone arrives. And then I can do the rest later tonight.
Now?
Yeah, maybe.
Can't get 12 in now. We start at 4, mate. It's almost 3.
Yeah, we start at 4. Exactly. That's more than an hour. I can surely get 12 in. Easily.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not like you. I don't have to brush my hair. Well,
What's that got to do with it?
Well, it takes a long time.
What's that got to do with
young
it?
guys get dressed now. I remember one time when I was at the surf club and before Isabella was born, and I was doing all my training to be a surf lifeguard out at City Beach.
Yeah.
There was me and another old guy.
Yeah.
And all the rest, everyone else was 16.
Yeah.
And we're doing our course and stuff. And we went out into surf and did the 200-metre swim thing and all the rest of it out to the buoy and back in the rough ocean.
Which boy?
A boy. Not... Anyway, we went back in and got changed. And myself and Steve. Yeah, I knew you'd say that.
Well,
we came back out first. We had a hot shower, got changed, got into the training room, ready to start our course again. Then the girls came out, and then it was like 20, 30 minutes later, the boys slowly, one by one, come out. It's like, what is with these boys?
I wasn't there.
No, you weren't there, but they all take so long.
What are you talking about then?
Oh, look, what time do you get up in the morning?
Huh?
What time do you get up in the morning?
Which days?
The early morning class days.
4:30.
See? We don't start till 6 o'clock. What are you getting up at 4 o'clock for?
It takes me half an hour to get here.
You see? Yeah.
For the distance of my house.
Yeah, it's only half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get changed.
Yeah.
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 Make my coffee.
Yeah.
Drive.
Yeah.
What? I can't live without those things, man. What are you talking about? It's like you and your practice.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You young fellas are just... Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I can get 12 in, no worries.
There's a loop around there.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I don't find myself regretting it. Thanks for asking, by the way.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
I knew I'd pass it over to you.
Chip in now. Chip in now. But I do find some days, I just feel like doing something else for a change. But I know that I feel better after I practice. But it's sometimes hard to get started in the day.
Well, that feeling, that place is really... What are you doing?
What are you doing?
That place of... I really don't want to do it, but I know after doing it, I will be feeling much better.
Yeah, I feel much better after. I feel loosey-goosey.
Loosey-goosey?
Loosey-goosey.
Okay. That spot, that place there, I also feel.
Yeah.
I never regret, and I don't want to do anything else. But that feeling of, I've got to get going. There's other things I could do right now. And when I do it, it's going to hurt. But when I finish doing it, I know I'm going to feel so much better. That particular space in time
like every day,
it's so challenging.
Yes.
It really is. And I'm saying that because I want everyone out there who does daily practice, who challenge themselves and also question whether they're good at it because they feel this, I want them to know that it's actually normal.
Yeah.
It's very normal. Like, I feel it every day.
Yeah.
Right? Because like everyone else, I like to get more sleep and have all my jobs done on my list and, you know, all that sort of stuff, and rest and watch some Netflix or whatever. But I don't. Often those things come after I finish my practice.
Yeah.
So I feel the same, exactly the same. So anyone out there who doubts themselves and makes themselves wrong or makes themselves feel like they're not genuinely doing daily practice because they should love it like everyone else loves it, I want them to know that it's a normal feeling to have.
Yeah.
Not to be loving it at the moment before you're about to do it.
Struggle, man.
And it's like even coming to class. It's like, I just want to lie in bed. I don't wake up and get there for 6 o'clock and then everything hurts. Yeah. But after having done it, after an hour and a half, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm so glad I came.
Yeah.
Because now I'm present to myself. The day's ready to go. I'm charged, positive, and all the rest of it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's normal. It's very normal. But I wouldn't say I regret any part of it. Not at all. If anything, I'm very grateful for it. Without it, I think my experience of the world would be totally different. Totally.
Nice. Job, homie.
Job, homie. Okay.
There was a G in there. Good job, homie.
Oh, good job, homie.
Yeah. Good job.
Good job. Cool. You know, Isabella and William are going to look back at these things in 20 years' time and go, shaking their heads going, Gauze and Dad are so daggy.
It's going to be great.
It's so daggy.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
All right. That brings us to the end of the episode then.
Cool.
Do you have anything else to add? The final words, mate?
Yes, I want to say thank you to everyone who came to Tai Chi Day at Yagan Square on Sunday. It was awesome. Absolutely awesome day.
It's good.
Yep. I'm looking forward to the video that St. Chris is going to cut to show everyone what the day looked like.
Yep.
But, gee, it was an amazing day. We had just over 90 registrations. About half of those turned up. People were even sending me emails apologising on the morning that they won't be able to make it for various reasons. You know, right down to clearly this person was standing at a bus stop because they said, I just missed my bus. I'm really sorry, Sifa, I won't be able to make it. Yeah. And I don't know them.
Okay.
Like, I don't know who they are. And I feel so grateful that people have I feel respected. They have enough
even
courtesy.
Just a message.
Yeah. I feel that the courtesy to be able to say, I'm sorry I can't make it. Particularly, it's a free event. Yeah. And we don't know each other. So we've never met each other.
There's every reason just let it
not
go.
Turn up. Exactly. Yeah. Not turn up, but not even send a message. So I'm very, very grateful. Thank you for all of those people who made it, all of those people who didn't make it and sent me a message. That was awesome. Absolutely awesome. We had a great day.
It was good.
Yeah, it was a very good day. Congratulations to Phoebe. It was her first day teaching that day. I had every confidence in her and absolutely spot on. I was right. She's very good at doing that job. Very good. Very confident young lady. Very articulate. Most importantly, she listens to people and has them be heard and then gets on with it and observant, watching everyone. You know, it's cool. Very cool. Thank you to Ali Singh Lee and yourself for holding the space as well, taking those groups of people. And all those people sitting on the side who are watching, reach out, like our page so that the next free community event.
What's our page?
Facebook.com/Kung Fu Perth. That page. Is that what page you're talking about?
Also known as Jhung Academy.
Yeah, that's it. AKA Jingmo Academy. Gingmo Academy.
Yeah, that's it. Spell it out. Go on.
Spell it. Gingmo Academy.
That's how you spell academy.
Yeah, I know how to spell academy. Do you know how to spell academy?
Yes. All right. Anything else?
No.
All right.
Well, yes. I'm so
hurry up, man. You got 12 years to do.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm so grateful for everyone's turnout on Sunday, it inspires me to do more. So we're already talking about where's the next location.
Yep.
It's cool. Thank you.
All right.
That's it.
I'm cutting you off.
Thank you.
Cutting you off.
Cut me off.
Yep.
Snip, snip.
Okay. Okay, everyone. So you can check out some more FuReel content on Instagram at FuReel Official and on YouTube at FuReel TV. And whilst you're listening, once again, have any questions or wonderings that we were talking about today, anything to add in, whatnot, feel free to email us at our email address, FuReel@jingmo.com.au. I'm not going to spell it out this time.
Good, thank you.
Yes, but I will see you in the next episode.
Cool. See ya.
Good day.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Stop it.